Hello, children of the night, and welcome to another furry fandom species video. If you're a furry, you're probably familiar with this species somewhat already. If you're not a furry, then you are now. I've converted you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I got you to watch furry media made by a furry. You're one of us. One of us. One of us. One of us. More fur for the fur god! But you're also probably not familiar with these. This is a Protogen, and unfortunately I can't quite explain them yet as they are a derivative species, meaning their species is actually based on another fandom species, and to explain Protogens, I have to explain the other species first. This might be a multi-parter, because it's quite lengthy. There's quite a bit here, but I'll try my best to make it one video. Primogen are a closed species by Cool Koinu, formerly known as Malice Risu. This means that if you want to make a Primogen OC, you can't. You'll need to buy an existing one or commission Koinu, with auctions going as high as $1,200. As I've said in my open versus closed species video, I have no problem with closed species. Primogens are the product of intellectual property, much like music, movies, writing, and art. And Primogens fall under art and writing, even more so with how fleshed out the universe is. And it's totally on them if they want to protect their IP or not. It does say, however, on their site that she has discontinued making further Primogen for a couple of reasons. One is that with the spike of popularity of the characters back in 2018, they were commissioned to make a lot of them. She felt like she was only opening the slots to please the masses, and this made her private character a public one, and they felt like they had less control over their baby, essentially. The second reason is the rise in drama surrounding the ethics of closed species. When they made Primogen... Yes, Nix, what? What? Am I gonna have to start locking you out of the room when I record? When they made Primogen, they were supposed to be like a fursona, an alternative furry version of them, a very personal character. So that's why they discontinued the species instead of opting to make them open. They never planned to have them be a public character, and didn't plan on selling them in the first place. Anyway, the species. Primogen are fuzzy raptor-like creatures with 4 ears and are primarily synthetic. They, of course, have the signature visor that has become synonymous with not only the Primogen species, but Protogen too. The visor is made of sciencey stuff like silicon and nanites. Not important, all you need to know is that they can smile. The facial expression is usually made of 2 nostrils, eyes, and a mouth. It's not a static display though. Everything moves, and they can even show things besides their basic face. The visor always covers the face, but can cover as much as the majority of the head, going down from the forehead to below the muzzle. Despite both Prima and Proto having visors, they do differ. A Primogen visor is longer. As you can see, there are a lot of robotic or synthetic parts of the Primogen. They're actually more synthetic than organic. They're about 70% synthetic. The only parts of them that are organic is their brain, skin, and spine. The rest is all replaced with more efficient artificial alternatives. More efficient as in they don't do anything. They don't eat, they don't digest, and they don't poop. So to keep running, they suck electricity, and that powers everything. Because of the lack of any real organs, they can't sexually reproduce despite having the organs required to do so. Immediately I'm thinking chrome dong. They're raptor-like in posture and body, as previously mentioned, and actually retain a lot of raptor-like features despite being a highly advanced species, like large claws, thighs, and feet. The latter two are supposed to aid in movement speed, of which they cap out at 120 miles per hour or 193 kilometers. This is super weird to me because I too have large thighs, but run really slow. Pretty simple, I guess, for their basic anatomy, but they actually have a massive lore in the universe. I'll keep it short for now. Their basic lore is pretty simple. Primogen were created by an advanced alien species in order to perform labor for their masters, primarily reconnaissance missions. They were designed to adapt rapidly, and if you've ever seen a movie about AI, you can probably guess where this is going. They went rogue, changed their source code, and now exist and live on their own terms, free from their once masters. Protogen are the other species. Protogen is an open species that anyone can make a character of, except there are some required traits, forbidden traits, and an entire Excel spreadsheet full of traits that are ranked by commonality. Protogen are very similar to Primogen, but they typically stand upright. Within the lore, each Protogen is designed to accomplish a specific job, and to match that, they have removable limbs that can be swapped to improve efficiency at these jobs. The traits that make them different from Primogens are a short rounded visor, a chest plate that covers their chest entirely, biological ears, Rare Protogen have up to 3 pairs of biological ears. The visor is able to open, mammalian behaviors, modular limbs, and a functioning digestive tract. So they can eat and do all the stuff that entails, but are still incapable of natural reproduction despite the majority of their organs being intact. Protogen lore is a little different from Primogen. Protogen are the original Primogen in the lore despite conceptually being created after Prima. Protogens are the prototypes. They were created using DNA from a space dino because their creators found that this species of space dino took to synthetics really well. Then the Protogen was made. They were made to fulfill a lot of the same jobs that Primogen later fulfilled. In terms of design, I like Protogen more. They're cuter. Actually, my online name, Sera Proto, was because when I started, I was a Protogen, and you can see my first model in my old videos on the Sera Proto channel. I was going to be a Protogen, and I was using the Primogen Protogen model by Ghostly Shark. I eventually switched to Sera the Sheep because I wanted something that was more uniquely mine. This ended up a little shorter than I was expecting, so we have a little bit of time for some more lore. How are baby Primogen and Protogen made? They can't reproduce via sexual intercourse, so how do they make more? Prima and Proto are both grown via artificial insemination. The egg and sperm cells meet and start to grow. Then it is put inside of an artificial womb in which they are left to grow until they reach the required size for their designed function. During this process, their DNA is altered to further aid in their design goal. After they are done baking, they are fitted with the appropriate synthetics needed, then left in a med pod while the synthetics and body become used to each other. Once they're done baking for the second time, they are then hooked up via neural links and fed information that will create their existence, sentience, and worldview. This is so that they don't pop out, finished, and unable to communicate. They've lived their entire lives in vats up until this point. Finally, they are provided with their final bit of training via VR and simulations. So, how are baby gens made? They're not. They're grown like vegetables, and their first day alive is as an adult, which is super convenient. I don't know what a crying baby Protogen would sound like, but I don't think it would sound much better than a crying human, so it's cool that they can skip that. As you can see, they're very cool, and with a lot of lore that I imagine most probably haven't read, but for me, the more I learn about them, the cooler they get. They're very relatable to me as a trans person too. Their lives don't really begin until they're much older, and if they don't like their bodies, they can just change it. Reject beat puppets, become fluffy machines. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like and comment to help more people find these videos, and subscribe for more Protogen, Primogen, and furry fandom species content. I make new videos every week, and if you want to help me keep doing that, you can become a patron. You've probably seen the game cases in the back, or the stuffed animal on my desk. Those are my patrons, and my Patreon has rewards as low as $1, such as early access to videos. So check that out in the description. But for now, I'll see you all later. I have to upload my consciousness to a new body. Stay batty.